Too much light in the way, eh? Oh, show 'em, 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 show 'em at them. Who's on tonight? Who's on show 'em tonight? Their music has really been outstanding. Or is it the new music that I'm getting used to? You see, I'm not looking for an argument that if somebody comes up and say, oh, no, no, all your stuff is wrong, well, show me how it's wrong. And I'll look at your stuff and think to myself, he's nuts, he's got to be wrong. Well, first of all, he probably did more studying than me, and I give everybody that benefactor before the doubt. Okay? And what I would do, okay, hold on a second. I don't like that I show my skin. I don't know who's watching. Okay, so what I would do is look at his and say, how come it's right? How come he thinks it's right? I'll look at it his way. Otherwise, I can't see it his way. Just like you can't see it my way. Which way is that? Anyways, I noted down a few things tonight. I kept getting mixed up every time I saw 1 and 5, and I kept playing the spirit with the spirit angel, the spirit. And actually, the 15th letter in the alphabet is the egg, so it is the spirit with the spirit angel. It is the same thing as I thought. But the 15th letter is the egg, and the egg is 1 and 5, makes 6 man. We don't know what's coming out of that egg, but it's 6 man, it's general. Okay? There's a lot of general things on this earth. There's a lot of private things. Okay? But private doesn't mean the same thing as general. Private means that it's just a very small thing. It's a private. Anyways, let me jump onto this. There was one word when God said He sent His only Son. Okay, I was thinking, what does the word "son" actually mean in the dictionary? Don't look it up. You won't find it. Make it up. Make it up yourself what son can mean. Because in French, they say fils, F-I-L-S. But for women, they say fille, F-I-L-L-E. But if you say it in English, it would sound like file. And then a file is something that you put away, or something that you're in single file. So you can look at it the son the same way. It's S-U-N or S-O-N. Maybe it's speaking of both son and daughter. Maybe it's talking about his pet shop. He has a pet shop, okay? Dolls, of course, he created, all out of wood. And he has a doll shop, okay? And he created one of his dolls. And one of his dolls looks like this. And he says, one day, I want to have a real boy. So God got to work. He says, how can I make this a real boy? So he looked and he moved and he grooved and he says, you know what? This is the boy I want. Okay? You see those squares? Okay, those are all angles. That thing going around his neck, okay, you can do so many designs with it, but it's yellow with the red spirit connecting side. Every jack from every different kind of sort of deck is always going to differ. Okay? But the pattern selection between all the picture cards will always be the same. You have to just put them together, just like the oats that are on his shoulder, which is for horses, and then it has a further detail in it. I'm not quite sure what it is right now. Okay? And if you look at his center, it's all black X's with red in it. So it's spirit of the club, because the club card is black. I wish you could see this without me shaking. Okay? And then it's got all those eggs. See all the eggs, like a factory, going around in a circle on the outside? Red is spirit. Okay? The black is the angel of who it's connected. This is like electricity. Figure out how you connect electricity. Okay? First you have to understand the rule. This one is getting attached to something that's upside down. Can't you see the cards upside down? Because that's how they get attached. The heavens and us, we're upside down. We're not upside down. It's just, and I saw a picture on my Facebook somebody sent me. I forget the name of the group. You should check out that picture because that's exactly the way the matrix works. It's in and out and in. It's like sewing, you know what I'm saying? You don't leave out a stitch. You leave out a stitch, it rips in that spot. The same thing with the spirit. If you miss a spot or forget an angle, you can't forget an angle. See what happens if one spirit moves or dies off, okay? They just fall back together. like the balls that fall in Tetris or whatever. They just fall and always connect back together because they're made in such a way. Their design is the metric system. Well, their design is for it all to me, trick, the trick of the system. Metric, trick of the system. It's God's trick. It's up his sleeve. He knows how it works. But whatever your computer can do, then if you can probably duplicate it. I think the computers and the television screens are updated enough that they can probably do a good part of what the spirit completely looks like, except for one thing. They're already starting too big. This is minute, my friend. This is so small. If you were an ant, you'd think it was small. That's how small it is. It's a system. The metric system, the magic system, the tricks of God. Anyways, I'm going to go back onto the French word for fille, and for a boy it's F-I-L-S, for boys or for sons. So, I mean, for French and English, I mean, if an English guy looks at that word and it's F-I-L and the guy misspells it when he puts an E, he won't know if they're in a file or he won't know if it's a boy or a girl. So therefore we can say that God is talking about transferring his card, okay, in for one of these. 2 eyes. Why 2 eyes? And why 1 eye? Jacks connect. It's hard to explain how the spirit works, but jacks connect. If you notice on this jack, okay, what's going down the center, you can see it's red, white, and black. The white of the angel, a creation in the heaven, with the red spirit, all sewn up, okay, inside the other jack. Now, what you see as the Mayon design, okay, are actually, they're jack carriers. One is upside down from the other. It's very hard to see because this is a tissue design, but if you really look, they're jacks in many ways, okay. And I mean, what else was I going to tell you? The jacks connect. Boy, I don't have the cards for this. I was going to show you what happens with the king of clubs. See that in the center? He's got a dot, and he's got 6 stars, or the mug and dove. He connects in all the worlds through the jack of hearts and through the jack of clubs. He's everything, this king. You see the fleur-de-lis that's sitting upon him on the left shoulder? And those dots of 3 stages, red spirit, yellow is us, and the blue, beta blue, with the white angel. He carries all the symbols of our creation, this man right here. He divides his hair. Take a look how his beard is curled up and his hair is curled up, showing 6s and 9s upside down from each other. Wow, I'm only at 8 minutes, I'm so cool. Yeah, so they're upside down from each other just as we are. And on his cap there's rainbows. And in between those rainbows are eggs, birth eggs, okay? Everything takes place to this gentleman right here. And how many white dots does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 8. So he's talking about the 2 heavens, except he has 4 on one side and 3 on the other, and then he has 1 in the center. So they partage, they share it. Okay, well that's how you connect to the earth. What else is there? I did that. Oh yes, 365 days in a year. Okay, or 366. Let's take away the week end. Remember what I told you? We're in the beta world 2, and we are the avatars 5. Well, there's a 7-day week. 2 days are the weekend, the beta world, and 5 days we're the avatar. We go to work, or we're doing something most of the time for mostly everybody else but ourselves. So we're rarely ever the 6, we're usually the 5. There we go, 5 days a week and 2 days for the weekend, we have 7. Anyways, that gives us a total of 104 free days a year, okay? Although 52 of them have to go to God 1 day a week, so therefore 1 deck is gone. 2 decks, 104 cards, no? Another way to look at 104, okay, is if you add up in the game of war where the ace is only considered as a 14, The total card count in that scenario is 104. Same scenario. Okay? Um, so that 104 is just not nothing. It's 2 decks of cards. We're playing with 2 dice. Why can't we have 2 decks of cards? And then in certain situations we get into 3 decks of cards because there's a game in the casino called Sicko, and they have 3 dice. We have to follow what man created and put it in other positions that it can possibly be. This is where it's at. You just connect them. For some reason, MrTacpans's transforms over to me some of the messages, and I'm able to hopefully get them out. You know what? I usually don't take a cigarette, right? I have a cigarette in my mouth and it's not smoking, so we got 104 days. Then we have the Game of War, which is 104. 2 decks of cards are 104, and 52 are God's weekends. You get 52 for yourself. If you're married, you get half, which is 26, which makes you red and black. And if you have children, then it makes you 39. You split it up between the kids. Anyways, what we're going to add to 104 is 12. There's basically 12 holidays in here. Basic holidays. Okay, before and after also. So if you add 12 to 104 that you're off, it goes up to 116. Now, isn't that a coincidence? That if you add up the months of the year, the initials, it also equals to 116. In which if you split that in 2, it's 58. Now if you look at your telephone keypad, 5 and 8 means the spirit connects to the 2 worlds. 258, it means you made a complete turn and you're going up to heaven. 456, you're running here on earth. You can also go in your life 159 because you were born. You can go 357 at the creation, when you were a father. Okay? There's 4 directions to go, but you can only go 3 at a time. Total 4. And the last one is the best one, but it's the scariest ride of all. Oh my God, close my eyes. I'm no longer alive. But when I open my eyes, oh my God, I can't believe it. That scared just up to the coming, and oh my God, I can't believe this is the end. And it's actually, it just began. So I spoke about the beta world. I talked about the way we know that the sperm whale and the beta world would be the first 2 planets, Mercury and Venus. They have no moon, so they can't transport anything or really do any transaction. That's all left up to basically Jupiter and Saturn with the 3 rings, the 3 zeros, the 3 parts of our life. So anyways, what happens, since God and the sun are one, God blows off his heat from the sun, blowing whatever is near Mercury and Venus all the way over in the path towards Earth. It can't go any further than Mars, because when you get to Jupiter, it's a different part of the solar system. So that's as far as she blows. And I could be wrong, because Pluto has 3 moons. What are they actually used for? Well, let me tell you it this way. Anyway, I'm jumping out. See this card? It's got that hand up there. Well, that's actually saying like later, because Pluto is either the first or the last transfer of a moon that man does. And that's why Pluto's so far off and so small, because the work it does is very easy. Okay? The 9th planet, it could be the birth planet, they're in and out. They just have to transfer a single spirit, one to the angel, one to man. What's the incoming one? I don't know. It could be your death. Anyways, I'm off on this. I did the 258. The other things I want to talk about in my next video is how much would it cost us to put up 1 more doctor in every hospital, and how much time would it cut off? I'm not going to study any of this. I'm just doing it out of the top of my head. Just how can we fix the same problems with poor people? What about the poor of Africa? What's going to happen between September 21st and November 10th of this year, 2011, September 21st to November 10th, 2011? The colors of the Rubik's Cube, the dots where the cards are placed, where the dots are placed in the center of the cards. There's just so much to cover. The question is, for which reason are we covering what? So I have to do the whole shebang, and it can take hours for one thing, so I just skip around and end up with a story that sounds just like the one I told. I am the avatar. of MrTacpans's, and